Stop the clock. In the heart of Sri Lanka's bustling capital, Colombo, there is a place where the clamor of the city gives way to quiet contemplation and ancient beauty. Join us as we step inside the legendary Gangaramaya Temple, a vibrant center of Buddhist culture and its serene floating counterpart, the Seema Malakaya on Beira Lake. Discover the stories, the treasures, and the peaceful sanctuary that awaits. Our journey begins on the tranquil waters of Beira Lake, home to the floating shrine known as the Seema Malakaya. Look closely at the stunning design. This structure isn't ancient. It was actually built in 1979 after the original, centuries-old structure sank. It was designed by one of the most celebrated architects of the 20th century, Sri Lanka's own Geoffrey Bawa. The calm water surrounding the Seema Malakaya holds a history far more dramatic than its peaceful surface suggests. This serene expanse, known as Beira Lake, is not a natural feature, but a testament to colonial conflict and urban transformation. We have to travel back to the 16th century, where this scenic spot was a vital, brutal military asset. The lake was engineered by the Portuguese invaders, who manually dug out the surrounding marsh to create a colossal, defensive moat. This massive water barrier served to protect their fortified base in Colombo from the fierce attacks of the local Sinhalese kingdoms. For centuries, this wasn't a place for quiet reflection. It was a hostile frontier. Historical accounts even speak of the Portuguese adding a truly terrifying layer of security, filling the waters with live crocodiles. As power shifted, the lake's role evolved. The Dutch utilized it as a critical commercial highway, linking canals to efficiently transport Ceylon's valuable commodities to the port. It was under the British that the lake finally began its journey toward becoming an urban oasis. They removed the crocodiles, transforming the fortress moat into a place of recreation and leisure, where colonial officials held grand celebrations and established early rowing and yacht clubs. Though significantly reduced from its original size due to centuries of land reclamation for city development, today's Beira Lake has shed its military and industrial past. It has been reclaimed as a magnificent urban oasis, a crucial green lung for the city. From a crocodile-filled moat, it has gracefully transformed into a spiritual sanctuary, a recreational center, and the perfect tranquil setting for the elegant Seema Malakaya floating temple. The picturesque floating temple, the Seema Malakaya on Beira Lake, has a story of loss and spectacular rebirth. The original structure, first built in the late 19th century as an essential chapter house for the nearby Gangaramaya, faced an unfortunate fate. Resting directly in the soft marsh bed of the lake, the wooden foundation proved unstable. By the early 1970s, the century-old temple had tragically begun to sink, eventually submerging completely beneath the water. To resurrect this vital sacred site, the task was given to one of the world's great architectural minds, Geoffrey Bawa, Sri Lanka's revered master of tropical modernism. Bawa's design, completed in 1979, was a stroke of genius. Inspired by the ancient forest monasteries of Anuradhapura, he designed 3 interconnected, unsinkable platforms, anchored by simple stone pillars that appear to rise gracefully from the water. The structure is an elegant mix of modern clean lines and traditional materials like local wood and the beautiful blue-tiled Candian-era roof, instantly establishing a peaceful oasis. More than just an architectural marvel, the Seema Malakaya is indispensable to the faith. Its name means chapter house, and it is the sacred place specifically designated for the ordination of monks, a rite that tradition dictates must be held over water to separate it from the worldly life. Today, surrounded by dozens of serene Buddhist statues and watched over by its own sacred Bodhi tree, the Seema Malakaya stands as a powerful, floating symbol of spiritual resilience, quiet contemplation, and world-class design at the heart of the capital. Just moments ago, we were immersed in the relentless energy of Colombo, the endless stream of tuk-tuks, the noise of commerce, and the hurried pace of capital city life. But now, as we step inside the grounds of the Gangaramaya complex, that chaos simply melts away. This is the extraordinary transformation offered by this sacred space, an immediate and profound sense of stillness. The towering walls and the surrounding waters of Beira Lake act as a spiritual barrier, filtering out the din of the urban center. Here, the dominant sounds are not car horns, but the gentle chime of temple bells, the quiet chanting of a monk, or simply the sound of your own footsteps on the cool stone. It's a palpable shift in atmosphere, a meditation in plain sight. For the traveler, this is more than just a tourist site. It is a vital urban sanctuary. It offers a necessary pause, a chance to recalibrate and find that deep, internal quietness that modern life often steals. Whether you're gazing across the lake at the floating shrine or sitting beneath the shade of the Bodhi tree, you realize the genius of the placement. A perfect, peaceful counterpoint to the city that rushes on just outside its gates. Take a moment. Inhale the calm. This is where Sri Lanka's spiritual heart beats slowest. Leaving the quiet calm of the floating shrine, we now enter the main Gangaramaya Temple complex. And here, the experience changes entirely. This is more than a place of worship. It is an incredible, sprawling cultural institution and museum unlike any other in Sri Lanka, attracting travelers for its stunning visual feast. The architecture itself is a traveler's delight, representing a seamless fusion of Sri Lankan, Thai, Indian, and Chinese styles. Walk through the main shrine and admire the intricate woodwork and paintings that tell the story of the Buddha's life. Then, step into the famous Gangaramaya Museum, a true treasure trove. This isn't your typical dusty collection. It is a fascinatingly eclectic display of artifacts and curiosities donated by devotees from around the world. Where else can you find a collection of ancient coins and jewel-encrusted gifts sitting alongside a row of vintage Rolls-Royce and Mercedes-Benz cars? Don't miss the famous relic chamber, or the temple's ultimate curiosity, the smallest Buddhist statue on the island, so tiny it must be viewed through a magnifying glass. Gangaramaya serves as a vibrant cultural and learning center, offering an unforgettable experience. It is a place where deep spiritual reverence meets world history and even a touch of eccentricity. For anyone visiting Colombo, this complex, from the serene lake to the overflowing museum, is truly a must-see destination, providing not just a spiritual moment, but a unique window into Sri Lanka's rich, diverse, and generous culture. The history of the main Gangaramaya Temple complex begins in the late 19th century, a crucial time of Buddhist resurgence in Sri Lanka following centuries of colonial rule. This sacred site had humble beginnings, established on what was originally a small plot of swampy land near Beira Lake. The temple was founded by the legendary scholar monk, Venerable Hikadu Sri Malakaya, a visionary who recognized the urgent need for a large place of worship and learning in the bustling capital. He was instrumental in establishing Gangaramaya as a center not just for religious devotion, but for social and cultural upliftment. Under his successors, the temple rapidly grew, transforming from a simple shrine into the massive institution we see today. The mission expanded far beyond its walls, becoming a seat of learning, establishing vocational training centers, supporting orphanages, and engaging in large-scale community development projects. This is why Gangaramaya is so much more than a typical temple. It's a living institute that actively serves its community through the tireless work of successive chief incumbents, most notably the revered Venerable Galboda Nanasarathera or Pudi Hamadurawo. The temple established the famous Navam Parahira procession and built on its traditions. It also adopted its unique architectural style, a breathtaking fusion of design elements from Sri Lanka, Thailand, China, and India, reflecting its global reach and the spirit of acceptance. Gangaramaya is a powerful legacy, a swampy plot of land transformed into a global beacon of faith, education, and compassion. To visit Gangaramaya is to stand at the spiritual crossroads of a nation. Sri Lanka is, by its very constitution and history, a deeply Buddhist country, the ancient stronghold of Theravada Buddhism, the oldest surviving school of the faith. Buddhism arrived here over 2,000 years ago, long before Christianity reached Europe, and its teachings of compassion, nonviolence, and mindfulness are woven into the very fabric of Sri Lankan life and culture. The faith is visible everywhere, from the gentle hospitality of the people to the public holidays observed on every full moon, known as Poya days. Gangaramaya doesn't just represent this history, it actively sustains it. As a modern temple, it acts as a beacon, teaching the Buddhist philosophy not just through rituals, but through social action and education. The unique blend of architecture you see here, the Chinese-style pagoda next to the Thai-influenced roof, is a powerful testament to the unity found within this culture. It represents the global spread of the Dhamma, yet remains profoundly Sri Lankan. Whether it's through the vocational schools that uplift the local community, the library that preserves ancient texts, or the sheer atmosphere of tolerant peace, Gangaramaya is a physical embodiment of the country's Buddhist values, a spiritual lighthouse guiding its people in the heart of the modern world. While the architecture of Gangaramaya is a magnificent feast for the eyes, the true treasure lies in the timeless Buddhist teachings that permeate every inch of this sacred space. This temple is a functional representation of the core concepts of the faith, ideas that transcend culture and time. One of the fundamental teachings is anicca, or impermanence. Every flower offering, which will inevitably wilt, is a beautiful, gentle reminder that nothing is permanent, encouraging us to appreciate the present moment. Similarly, the history of the Seema Malakaya, sinking and then being magnificently rebuilt, is a potent metaphor for the cycles of life and change. Another key teaching is karuna, or compassion. This is where Gangaramaya truly shines. The temple complex is not just for prayer. It is a center of selfless service, running vocational schools, supporting elders, and providing community aid. The vast, eclectic museum itself is a testament to generosity and detachment, filled with gifts donated by people who understand the value of letting go for the greater good. Ultimately, stepping onto these grounds is an opportunity to practice bhavana, or mental cultivation. The quiet stillness found here invites every visitor to pause, to observe their own mind, and to engage with the principles of simplicity, peace, and mindfulness. Gangaramaya serves as a beautiful, living reminder that the path to inner tranquility begins not with grand gestures, but with quiet, compassionate self-awareness. In the serene heart of the Gangaramaya complex stands the magnificent Bodhi tree, often draped in colorful prayer flags and circled by devout pilgrims. This tree is not merely a botanical feature. It is one of the most sacred symbols in the Buddhist world, representing the very moment of spiritual awakening. The story begins over 2,600 years ago in Bodh Gaya, India. After years of searching for truth, the prince Siddhartha Gautama seated himself beneath a large fig tree, what we now call the Bodhi tree. He vowed not to rise until he had achieved his ultimate aim. After 49 days of profound meditation, it was under the quiet shade of this tree that Siddhartha finally achieved enlightenment. Bodhi, transcending all suffering and becoming the Buddha. The tree itself gained immortal status as the Tree of Awakening. But the connection to Sri Lanka is even more extraordinary. In the 3rd century BCE, a sapling from the original tree was brought to the island by the Buddhist nun Sanghamitra, the daughter of the great Indian Emperor Ashoka. This sapling was planted in the ancient city of Anuradhapura, where it thrives to this day, making it the oldest living human-planted tree with a known planting date in the world. The Bodhi tree here at Gangaramaya is a direct descendant of that sacred Anuradhapura tree. Every time a devotee offers water or walks respectfully around its base, they're participating in a spiritual practice that has continued unbroken for over 2 millennia. This tree serves as a potent, living link to the Buddha himself, a profound, tangible symbol of wisdom, resilience, and the possibility of enlightenment for all. After exploring the serene grounds, prepare for a captivating shift in atmosphere as we enter the Gangaramaya Temple Museum. This isn't a traditional, hushed gallery. It is a delightfully eclectic, often astonishing display of global generosity and history, reflecting the diverse reach of the temple itself. The museum houses a bewildering array of artifacts, largely consisting of gifts donated by devotees and dignitaries from all corners of the globe. You'll find collections of antique coins and currency, ivory carvings of incredible detail, and cabinets overflowing with watches, clocks, and relics. It is a stunning visual representation of the concept of dana, the Buddhist practice of giving and selfless generosity. Perhaps the most unexpected exhibits are the larger items, including vintage luxury vehicles like a stunning Rolls-Royce and classic Mercedes-Benz cars, donated to the temple over the decades. This unique sight, classic automobiles within a sacred precinct, speaks volumes about the temple's deep connection to Sri Lanka's cultural elite. Be sure to look for the 2 most famous treasures: the highly revered relic chamber, which holds sacred artifacts, and the temple's legendary smallest Buddha statue, so minute that it can only be properly viewed through a magnifying glass. The Gangaramaya Museum is a truly one-of-a-kind experience, a vibrant, overwhelming, and unforgettable testament to faith, history, and a spirit of joyful eccentricity.